Hello, my name is Brian Davis, and I'm a graduate student at Liberty University in the History Department. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Lottie Moon. Lottie Moon was a Southern Baptist missionary to China. She was born December the 12th, 1840 in Albemarle County, Virginia. She died on December the 24th, 1912 in Kobe Harbor of Japan. Lottie was born before the Civil War and raised on a plantation. The family was wealthy. They had came from strong southern roots. One of the main things about Lottie that you need to know is that her family was an important part of her life. Lottie was not a typical Christian girl growing up. She was very rebellious. Another thing about Lottie that you need to know is that she had strong female role models as she grew up. Her grandmother and her mother had both lost their husbands. Her mother had lost her husband, Lottie's father, when she was 14 years old. This made all of the women in the family especially strong. Lottie, whose real name was Charlotte Diggs Moon, was named after one of her grandmothers. Lottie was also a very intelligent young lady. Lottie had she had gone to Hollins College, what is called Hollins College now, near Roanoke. After that, she went to the Albemarle Female Institute, which used the same criteria as the University of Virginia. She graduated and was one of the first females with a master's degree in Virginia. She had an exceptional talent for languages. Lottie also enjoyed many pranks when she was young. When she was at Hollins, one of the things that she did was she wrapped towels around a clock tower bell so it wouldn't clang and wake people up. And she had all kinds of little tricks that she played on people. But when she was back in Albemarle County, she had gone to a service at a Baptist church in Charlottesville, and she had been saved. With this salvation, she decided that she wanted to be a missionary, and she became a missionary to China. She was a missionary in China for 42 years. Another important thing to know about Lottie and her upbringing is that these strong role models that were female included her sister Oriana. Her sister Oriana became one of the first doctors in America in the South. Her sister helped tend to wounded soldiers at the University of Virginia during the Civil War. That's important to know that she also was a missionary. A lot of people don't know that Oriana went to the Middle East and was a missionary there. Her sister Edmonia was a missionary to China before Lottie. A lot of people don't know that. Lottie also was intelligent in languages, but she was a very wise and astute business person also. While she was a missionary to China, she became interested in traveling outside of the typical area that she was such as a safe place that she was in, and she traveled to villages away from the Ting Chau village in which she was stationed. She began to live as a native, and she began to evangelize to the Chinese people in areas that they had not been evangelized in before. She was able to bring hundreds of people to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But this is a very expensive thing to do, to be a missionary, and it still is today. Lottie's business sense allowed her to contact the foreign mission board that she worked for, and she was able to get the women involved. She may not be what one would consider a feminist in today's world, but for that point, she was very, very strong, and she didn't allow the restrictions placed on women to keep her from doing her job. She used that to her advantage. She enlisted the help of the women in the Women's Mission Union in the Southern Baptist Church. She did this in one way by contacting Mr. Tupper, and Mr. Tupper was the director of the Foreign Mission Board, and she shamed them by telling them in one of her letters, her many letters, of how the Methodists were being supported so well in China. Now this continued, and she continued to receive funds. The Women's Mission Union decided that they would support her, and when Lottie died in 1912, they had already established the Lottie Moon Christmas offering, which was her suggestion that they deprive themselves during the week before Christmas and use that money to help with foreign missions. Well, this was extremely important because Lottie had pretty much given herself her entire life, almost 40 years of her 72 years, or 42 years of her 72 years, as a missionary in China. So what has happened with that through the years after Lottie's death? Well, the money that has been raised by the mission board in her name by the United Methodist, the Southern Baptist Union Mission Women, is exceeding $1.5 billion a year. Now, I've spoken to several people that I know that attend different Southern Baptist churches, and even small Southern Baptist churches in Campbell County, Virginia, are averaging about $4,000 for their church that's raised in the Lottie Moon Christmas offering. But $1.5 billion, she is still affecting the Great Commission that Jesus ordered us to go out into the world and to spread the gospel to this day. I would like to thank you for your time, and may God bless you.